Good evening. Welcome to the Sultanate of Oman Television 7 o'clock news bulletin. First, the headlines. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed emphasizes during his visit to State and Shura Councils that the government puts activation of the role of the Council of Oman at top of its priorities. The Sultanate receives with profound regret the sabotage of premises of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Tehran and its Consulate General in Mashhad, and stresses the importance of finding new principles forbidding intervention in other countries' internal affairs. The allocated budget for Muscat Festival 2016 is reduced and the private sector covers 60% of its costs. And the project of transferring and managing wastes is inaugurated in the Governorate of South Al-Batina. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Emperor Akihito of Japan on the 27th anniversary of his accession to the throne. His Majesty the Sultan has received a cable of thanks from His Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on his country's National Day. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, visited the Council of State and Shura today, where he was received at the premises of the State Council by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz Al Mandari, Chairman of the State Council, and members of the Executive Office, and at the Shura Council premises by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council, and members of Executive Office. His Highness expressed his utmost delight of the meeting and to response to the invitation to the premises, which are considered one of fruits of the glorious reign in the Sultanate under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, and to talk on a number of matters for the benefit of its citizens all over the Sultanate. His Highness said that Omani Shura experiment had achieved tangible stages fulfilling social and economic development requirements of the country. The government puts atop of its priorities the activation of the role of the Council of Oman to strengthen national work action. He also referred to the importance of the role of the Council of Oman to render success general policies and development plans aimed to enhance Sultanate's potentials and to achieve general interest for present and future generations. His Highness also emphasized the importance of strengthening cooperation between the government and the Council of Oman, along with other institutions of the state, through convening consultation meetings and exchange points of views with the aim to serve citizens and spread awareness, targeting youth generations to lead them to reach to their aspirations of decent living and contribution in building the country by diversifying sources of income and maximizing benefits from investments in numerous sectors which provide more job opportunities for citizens. From their part, heads and members of Executive Office of the State and Shura Council expressed their delight for His Highness' visit, emphasizing their keenness to continue cooperation with the government in dealing with various issues by constructive deliberations for matters and ways of wise dealing for serving the country and citizens. They also voiced thanks and gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan for the attention he accords to the councils by supporting their proposals and points of view, conforming to will of progress witnessed by the country. The Sultanate has received with profound regret that the premises of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia had been exposed to in Tehran and its Consulate General in the city of Mashhad of sabotage by Iranian protesters. The matter, which is considered a violation of Vienna Agreement on Diplomatic Relations and international charters and norms, which emphasizes sanctity of diplomatic premises and their protection by the host country. A statement issued by the Minister of Foreign Affairs said that the Sultanate considers this act unacceptable action and at the same time emphasizes the importance of finding new principles forbid any form of intervention in the internal affairs of other countries to achieve international stability and peace. The Sultanate's government and the Indonesian government signed in Jakarta a Memorandum of Understanding MOU on the political consultations between the two friendly countries. The MOU aims at conducting regular talks in a bid to enhance the bilateral relations and promoting the friendship and cooperation relations, as well as in exchanging viewpoints on regional and international issues of common concern. The MOU was signed from the Omani side by Sayyid Nizar bin Al-Julanda Al-Said, the Sultanate ambassador to Indonesia, whilst it was signed from the Indonesian side by Yuri Octavian Thamrin, Director General for Asia Pacific and African Affairs at the Indonesian Foreign Ministry. Within the celebrations of the Royal Oman Police of its annual day, Lieutenant General Hassan bin Mohsen Al-Shuraiqi, Inspector General of Police and Customs, pinned medals of long service and good conduct to a number of officers and affiliates of Royal Oman Police. The ceremony took place at Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences in the Wilaya of Nizwa, and it is conducted within the keenness of Royal Oman Police's command to encourage its affiliates to exert more efforts to upgrade quality of police missions and enhance their services rendered in the community. In order to develop governmental performances and accelerate in accomplished projects of e-government, 39 unit and ministry finished their vision and message, and 20 units and government units finished approving their service guide. This came in a statement for His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Umar Al Marhoon, Minister of Civil Service for Oman News Agency, which clarified the inventory and documentation of 1,764 governmental services in the 20 bodies which finished preparing services guide, pointing that the governmental bodies in the upcoming services will listed guides of approved services in their e-sites as it successfully connect these guides with the official e-portal for governmental service, Our Oman. The most important features and activities of Muscat Festival 2016 were released by the main committee today. More details in the following report by Sultan bin Saif Al-Sarrai.
A press conference about Muscat Festival 2016 held this morning. The main committee of the festival showcased the various events and activities that will be included.
We are so glad to announce Muscat Festival 2016 today, and I'm sure Muscat Festival, since it was started long time back, played an important role of promoting the country, not only regionally but also internationally, where we have now people actually waiting for Muscat Festival to start in order to come and to bring their families.
The committee presented promotional video for the festival and last year's festival achievements, as well as the most important and special activities the new edition will contain, such as Science, Technology and Civilization Exhibition, Jungle Village, Dinosaur Village and Heritage Revival Week, where the sponsor played major role at making this big event happening.
Omantel has two stands this year in Amrat and Al Nasim, and we're going to have a different activity during this festival.
This year's festival will be under the theme Experience Oman, and it will be in two main locations, Al Amrat Public Park and Al Nasim Public Park, with different events such as cultural, specialized and beach and sport events, where it will start on the 14th of January until the 13th of February. Once again, Muscat Festival is on the doors with various events and activities that everybody is waiting for from inside and outside Oman. Sultan bin Saif Al-Sarrai, Muscat.
Still to come in our news bulletin, a group of disabled people establish greenhouses as a source of income for them. Welcome back. National workshop on healthcare of mother and child and the winners of the competition on the program of birth space for 2015 was held today at Shafaq Club. More details in the following report. With the aim of enhancing the spirit of providing the best healthcare services in the Sultanate healthcare institutions, accelerated efforts on improving mothers and child health is been given special attention by the Minister of Health. In his speech, Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, said mothers and child health is a very important program in the healthcare sector, local and globally. He added the special program on birth space and breastfeeding took place in the Sultanate since 1990s. During the workshop, experts and other healthcare professionals presented various topics related to mother and child health that has been attended by over 160 participants representing healthcare institutions throughout the Sultanate.
Today we have a workshop for mother and child health. This is an extremely important topic, and what we are concentrating on today is the birth spacing, which is the reason or the logic behind the birth spacing is not to reduce the population of Oman, as there is this misconception, but to maintain the health of the mother and the child. All the studies, international studies, proved that the children who are born without the birth spacing, at least 3 years between the first and second child, they suffer from both physical and mental abnormalities. The mother also, the pregnancy is, yes, 9 months, but her body with breastfeeding will need time to recover before the next pregnancy.
Improving the well-being of mothers, infants and children is an important public health goal for the Minister of Health. The well-being determines the health of the next generation and can help predict future public health challenges for families, communities and healthcare system. The participants have discussed various important healthcare of mother and child, one of which is birth spacing, which allows the interval from one childbirth to the next child's birth date, as it is well known that planning enough time between pregnancies increases the chance of good outcome for the mother and each of her babies, as short intervals between births can be bad for mother's health.
Unfortunately, we reached a stage in both maternity and infant death where we cannot improve any longer, because in addition to what the health sector can do, there is the social determinant of health, which is internationally known that poverty, lack of education, social issues, they also affect both the morbidity and mortality of mothers and children. This workshop today, with participation from all the health sector in Oman, will concentrate on these issues, and I hope the message will reach everybody that we need to look after mothers and babies if we want a healthy, productive society.
During the workshop, prizes awarded for the winners of the competitions from various schools of the Sultanate. 4.5 million was the number of tourists departing the Sultanate in the first 10 months of last year, and 2.2 million was the number of tourists coming to the Sultanate in the same period, according to data provided by the National Center for Statistics and Information. Here is a report.
Promoting for the Sultanate as a touristic destination through exploiting its natural features and characteristics to increase contribution of the tourism sector in the gross domestic product comes within the Ministry's efforts to develop and enhance tourism in cooperation with the authorities concerned. Work is underway to further contribute to the creation of jobs with a commitment to sustainable development of the tourism sector and the preservation of natural and cultural heritage. statistics indicate a rise in the number of visitors departing from the Sultanate until the end of October 2015 to 4.5 million, whereas the total number of cruise ship visitors during the same period amounted to more than 100,000 visitors. The total number of visitors arriving to the Sultanate until the end of last October reached more than 2.2 million visitors. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Tourism continues carrying out awareness campaigns at schools, which have started in 2010 in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, targeting students and teachers of social studies and vocational guidance, aiming to highlight the importance of specialization in touristic fields and the importance of tourism to boost the process of progress and building up the national economy, besides focusing on ways of dealing with tourists. More than 25,000 students took advantage from these campaigns.
With the decrease of oil prices in global markets to levels approaching the cost of production, the Sultanate continues its efforts to face its impact by host of procedures such as providing an encouraging environment to investments of the private sector and facilitating procedures of granting permissions to establish projects to support domestic and foreign investments. The State General Reserve Fund is one of the government systems working to expand its investment inside and outside the Sultanate to achieve good financial revenues to the national economy. The Special Economic Zone of Duqm is a strategic project which plays a vital role in diversifying the national economy by attracting investments worth 2.2 billion Omani Riyals, in addition to other projects, mainly Duqm Refinery. The Sultanate seeks during the coming years to rationalize the public spending and restructuring public resources and increase non-oil revenues. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of Dhofar approved an appointment to meet with organizers of the Salalah Tourism Festival to look into ideas and views of the council members to develop the festival. The meeting discussed mechanisms of organizing process of deducting and distributing of domestic contributions from quarries and crushes companies. It also stressed on the importance of reviewing conditions of granting buildings demolition licenses at residential areas. The council as well as examined responses pertained to permitting the use of commercial residential buildings in addition to violations and actions by expatriate vehicles drivers. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Aufait Al-Shamfari, Chairman of the Dhofar Municipality and Municipal Councils. The Governorate of South Al-Batina is the second station for transferring and managing wastes, which Oman Environmental Services Holding Company started to implement after it received cleaning sector handling from the Ministry of Municipalities and Water Resources. The inauguration included starts with replacing existing containers with other containers with international specifications and standards, in addition to an awareness campaign about this inauguration. In order to benefit from scientific researches and support programs and plans which contribute in developing an institutional building that serve educational process, the Directorate General for Education in the Governorate of North Al-Batina organized a workshop in dissertation at Masters and PhD. The workshop chose the 4 scientific researchers that discussed a number of topics which can be an active suggestions to develop educational process. A number of disabled in the Wilaya of Bahla in the Governorate of Al-Dakhliya established greenhouses to be a source of income for them. These houses are managed by them under the supervision of Al-Wafa Center for Rehabilitation of the Disabled in the Wilaya of Bahla. They plant tomato, cucumber, green pepper and various other vegetables. After they harvest the sand, they produce to the nearby markets to sell them. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas overlooking Sea of Oman with chances of scattered rainfall. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. Winds will be north to northeasterly light to moderate, occasionally active over the coastal areas. Seas will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 3 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed emphasizes during his visit to state and shura councils that the government puts activation of the role of the Council of Oman at top of its priorities. The Sultanate receives with profound regret the sabotage of premises of the Embassy of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Tehran and its Consulate General in Mashhad, and stresses the importance of finding new principles forbidding intervention in other countries' internal affairs. The allocated budget for Muscat Festival 2016 is reduced and the private sector covers 60% of its costs. And the project of transferring and managing wastes is inaugurated in the governorate of South Al-Batina. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.